Hello peeps, hillbilly halfwit. Yeah, some of my lambs around me, so they'll probably interject on the conversation in a minute. Anyway, what are we talking about? Well, I am slightly worried that we might have a bit of a false flag operation on go in the UK this weekend. After what I was talking about last night with that email I received, there seems to be a lot of preparing going on. They're putting barricade fences up and things, and there's another place in London, a 4-star hotel, where they're moving some migrants into, apparently. I heard that the other day actually, where they, by law, they're not allowed to put migrants up in hotels that aren't under 4-star. And most of us normal people can't afford a hotel that is 4-star. So work that one out. But anyway, I think we could be, or a Mr. TR could be being set up, or I don't know what's going on. It doesn't look very good. I went in the house earlier and you could see that everything on the news has all been stoked up about this, and it's a bit odd if you ask me. The person that sent me that email is from that area. So they are part of the locals, if you see what I mean, in that area. And they were worried that it was going to be turned into something that was non-local. That's the big thing I was trying to get out yesterday. And they're worried that some kind of force, which may be the state perhaps, is trying to make that a bit of a battleground, and then they're going to start something there, and then the residents are going to get the blame, which 10 of them have already been arrested now, haven't they? So it is a little bit worrying. I gotta say, I have noticed quite a lot, because on the media yesterday, and I haven't watched much today, but I've had my earpiece in, so I've been listening to a bit of it. There seems like there's something going on to me. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, what do I know? I'm just a hillbilly halfwit. But by the way, that would be a good name for Corbyn's new party, wouldn't it? The halfwits. I shouldn't run him down, because I think he'll probably take a lot of votes off Labour, especially the younger vote. Do I think he's a bad guy? He's got some views about Palestine and that I'm not very keen on, because he seems to hang on to a lot of them. Well, I'd call them terrorist groups myself, but a lot of his other views are pretty sort of old school Tony Benn. So I think if he'd have been leader instead of Starmer, maybe all this bother against the farming community certainly wouldn't have happened, and the poor in society would have been looked after better. I will say that. Like I said, I don't agree with his other things, because he likes to hang on too much to these terrorist groups, in my opinion. But like I said, his other views are quite not that bad, I don't think, in my opinion. But I thought it was bad that they stopped him being in the party, in the Labour Party, considering he'd been there so long and nearly won the election with more votes than Starmer. I thought it was a bit bad that they banned him from being in the party. So at least now, I suppose, the people who like that kind of thing for him, that will be able to vote for him, and then maybe if Labour are a bit low on votes next time, at the next election, they'll have to ask him for a help agreement, you know. So it'll be good for reform, because lots of the people going there wouldn't have voted reform anyway. And I suppose for the people voting as well, they go into somebody who's standing up for them as well, you know, like Farage probably stands up for a lot of my views, I suppose. So Yeah, that's a good thing. I know I was winding them up by calling them the half-wits, but it's a good thing for society, I think. Lots of these bigger parties have railroaded everybody into these things, haven't they? Like these uni parties. And you can see it. If you do open your eyes up a bit, you can see people from the other side of the argument from us as well. They've done the same thing to them, to be fair. So, at least there's a voice there that you can hear, isn't it? So, that's what I think. But anyway, what I was talking about was this. I'm slightly worried that there's something going to happen this weekend in the UK. I've had quite a few emails off people last night as well. One very suspicious one as well. I won't talk about that for now, but I thought that was very suspicious. But it does make you think. Like I said, I'm a nobody, really. I'm a nobody with a channel, and the thing is, they can't control me. That's the problem. Most people who have biggest channels are controlled by the money, and they threaten them with, say, you won't have your money or whatever, we'll take your monetization away. Of course it does piss you off, but I don't care. Because my channel is for getting news over to you lot, so it doesn't really bother me a lot. But other channels are so scared of it, they just keep their mouth shut. They won't even swear, they won't say anything. And the trouble with it, like then, you rely on something then. That's the way I look at it. You rely, your income, you're relying on something, and if you say one wrong word, your whole income is gone like that. And that's not the way to be, is it, really? I don't think. Especially if you put your family into such a position where you have to rely on that income. But that's nothing to do with me, obviously. So, what do I think is going to happen? I think, just in my bits of experience of reading between the lines on these things, remembering I'm a nobody, I think they are going to do some kind of a march this weekend. And I don't know if the person at the march will be involved, but something is going to happen, and then we're going to have weeks and weeks of this on TV of how everybody who thinks a bit like us is a danger to society. That's what I think is going to happen. A bit like what happened when they did that thing about the young white boy being a murderous rapist a while back, and then they tried to tar every white boy like that. I think that's what's coming for white blokes of my age now. That's what I think is going to happen over the next, certainly this weekend, but it'll be the next month. While all these MPs are on holiday, they'll be saying how bad we all are, and then when they come back off holiday, they'll be making a new law to say we can't do anything. You watch. You watch. So, see if Gaza's right anyway, okay? And I'm not running anybody down here, TR, at the moment, because I think it's a good test case here to see if they are going to use him as a tool to get everybody else, like I think has happened in the past. I'm not necessarily saying that he knows that it's happening, but they do tend to use him to fight back against us. That's the problem. When the people in that area are just really family members and kids, grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers and mothers protesting about a person who was allegedly attacked by a person that was brought into their community. So there we are. I'm going to get back to sharpening my mower blades, and there we are. Thank you for subscribing, thanks for watching. As you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but who cares, eh? I'm quite entertaining. Ta-da.